this girl, she's doing her masters, and she was like, so she got in touch with me for a mutual friend. Friend was like, oh, there's someone I know doing a documentary. They're doing a documentary on the Latin community, and then I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, oh, she really wants to interview about Barbaro. I was like, okay, let's go, let's do it. So we literally met up and stuff like that, and then we met up a few times, spoke about it, and then she was like, oh yeah, like it's basically about like the Latinx community, and I was like, Latinx.
Oh no.
And then so it was all about that, and then about, you know, like how the Latin community or the Latinx community is seen right now in society and everything. And it's basically all about that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, cool. And to be fair, like if I got the time, I'll help. Like, I'm all about it. Then like it was cool because she was like, oh, I'm working for DOP. And you know, it's weird when you kind of meet someone and they're a little bit technical and she's like, oh, I'm working for, but I've got a crew, I've got DOP, blah, blah, blah. Arranged it, so I got the space next door because we've done Barbaro next door. Yeah. And then we done it, and then literally it was all good. Everything was all right until she's like, all right, so you guys sit down. And then I sat down and I was like, yeah, okay, this was a bit mad. Like I don't sit in front of the camera, I'd never do it. And then it felt weird, man.
How many times have you been in front of the camera now?
Bro, not that much, I'm not gonna lie. What? Not that much. You know what was weird? Like but besides this, that, I've done it just a few times, you know, like I remember one time I done it for ITV. We was doing a multicam shoot for ITV. So Dynamo was doing one of these like magic trick, like illusion things, right? On the bus. I don't know if you ever saw it. Yeah. He was on top of the bus doing that. So obviously like they had like, I think they had about 15 or 20 of us, like camera guys just all around Westminster just to get different shots. Then it got to the stage where they needed vox pops. And then there was no people around, so the camera guys and the producers and shit, we just had to take turns to vox pop. Bro, when they sat me in there in front of the camera, I was like, oh, bro, it was mad.
You think there's just a normal stigma of just, because I feel like I was like that for a while, where it's like when camera guys we prefer to be behind the camera for a reason.
Yes.
So when we get put in front of it, it's a completely like, oh, it's like a gun to the face.
Bro, I hate it. Not just hate it because it's weird, because you're just like, oh shit, like I wonder how I look. I wonder like if I'm sweating. Then you start sweating and you're like, oh shit, I'm sweating.
It's the lighting, right?
It's the lighting, right?
Wait, have you not like ever just stepped in just for like test shots?
No, I do. I do, but it's not the same because you're not recording it, you know. You know that. You know that it's there, but you're seeing the picture. It's not recording, but like when something's being recorded, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to watch that back, or people are gonna actually watch that back. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I'm gonna introduce you properly now. By the way, hi everybody, welcome to the Juan on One show. It's a new kind of show we got going on. I'm interviewing Yeison today. A lot of people might know you as a lot of people might know him as part of the Barbaro group, but also before he started all of this, you did something really cool, which you're still doing. What are you actually? What is your position right now? So what would you consider yourself? Yeah.
So I mean, like that's the thing. Like a lot of people know me. The people that know me, I'd say, in the last 3-4 years, they kind of know me as a promoter. Yeah. But like obviously, like I'm older. Like I'm gonna be 35 soon. So like no, I'm actually a cameraman. Yeah. So I've been a cameraman for a while. That's literally like my primary job. I like to call myself a lighting cameraman. I don't like to call myself a DOP. I basically, like the way I came up with the old school camera guys, where like, you know, you start off as an assistant or kit room, and then you come up and then you go like lighting cameraman. Then you kind of specialize into a DOP and stuff like that. That's how I came up. So I don't really consider myself a DOP as such. I like to call myself a lighting cameraman, and that's what I do. Like I've been doing it since I was 21, 34 now. So I've been doing it a while.
So you got quite a lot of years of experience. How did you get into that? I got in late. So how did you get into that? Yeah.
So bro, like, so basically I done media studies in school, secondary school. It did interest me a lot. And then when I went to sixth form, I carried on in sixth form with media practice. And it's kind of like all media production, all in one kind of thing. And then I kind of like, I got kicked out. Then I went to college. Yeah. And then I gave it another go. Then I got kicked out again. And then then I literally focused. Like I was like, you know what? Like I really want to focus. I want to do something that I really like. And I really enjoyed it. And before, like my teachers used to tell me, when I really focus and stuff like that, my teachers used to tell me that, oh, like we see you as a producer. Because they used to say, oh, I'm good with paperwork. I'm good with paperwork. I'm organized and stuff like that. And then they were like, oh, we see you as a producer. But I never really saw me like, you know, messing around with paperwork and all that stuff. I'm quite a practical person. Like I would prefer like practical over theory. So then like I finished college, I done really well, man. Done really well, and I wanted to go uni. Then I went uni, started doing media practice in LCC, and then from there I kind of like, you know, like what we all do, we start doing like assistant jobs, running.
Yeah.
And basically, like during that time is when the 5Ds, the kind of 5Ds started doing their thing. So I got my like literally me and some friends, we got kind of 5Ds. We started doing side projects, and then I started doing projects at uni as well. Then they started recommending us to people, to jobs, other agencies and stuff. I got my first job with Sky during uni, and then bro, like it's kind of gone up ever. It's
word of mouth after that.
Yeah, word of mouth, literally. So like I finished uni what 2012, and then bro, I literally landed a job straight out of uni.
Nice.
Yeah, so I went straight into full-time work, and then from full-time work, I think I worked at this company full-time for like 3 years, and then I just, you know, went like that, like literally full-time, went kit room company, got another full-time job.
You were in a kit room company.
Yeah, bro, yeah. I done it like I tried to do it the conventional way.
Yeah.
I tried to do it the conventional way because like I did and I didn't. So I didn't at the start. I went straight into it like a camera assistant job. And then I worked my way up to, I think it was junior camera op.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, you know what? I've learned everything I could learn, because like I was always around like much more experienced camera guys in BBC, ITV, all of that. But it's weird because during that era, that period, it was weird because like technology was changing and cameras were changing. So like you had all these like camera guys, that news camera guys, for example, like all the BBC guys, all of that, they were used to like operating these massive cameras,
slightly more analog,
massive, yeah, exactly, all the analog
before digital.
Yeah. So like it was one of those things where they were all used to operating all these big massive cameras, so their way of operating and everything was different. And like you was now getting like the smaller cameras, like the C300s. I think FS7s came up shortly after that, and then the smaller cameras. And then there was always like the way the older lot done it, and the way like the newer, younger generations were doing it. Not as in younger than me, but like just the younger camera guys. And then I just felt that I wasn't learning as much. I feel like I got stuck. Then I was like, you know what, let me go kit room company. And then I went kit room company because I wanted to become more technical. And then from there I literally like went to ProCam, and then
worked in ProCam.
Yeah.
Nice.
I worked at ProCam, man. Worked at ProCam, and bro, like I learned a lot there. Like it's weird because like the thing is, I was always focused. Like I always knew I wanted to do this, and I wanted to make a career out of it. And like at the time, I think I was earning decent money, but because I feel like I got stuck. I felt that I needed to go back a step and then just kind of like climb up again. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like if you've got an idea in your head, if you got a goal, you don't really mind doing it. And I was earning decent money at the time, but then I was like, you know what, I want to go to kit room. ProCam was kind of like, it was the go-to kit room company at the time because they were taking over a lot of companies. Yeah. So then literally went to ProCam. From being a junior camera op, I had to then start again. I had to start as a van driver. So literally started driving a van. I think that usually it takes between 3 months to 6 months to kind of like go into the warehouse and start prepping kit. Luckily, like I banged it out and I done it in 3 months. Nice. So literally, I think, like 3 months I went in, and then I started working in a kit room company, in the kit room house, sorry. And like I started learning. They put you in like different sections. They put you kind of checking in kit first. Like, so when when someone hires it, like they bring it in, and then, cause that's kind of the easier job to do, do you know what I mean? To
familiarize with it. All of that.
Yeah. So like, when someone, like in a kit room company, when someone brings in the kit, they basically, like, you just basically have to check that. They give you a checklist, and you just check that everything's there. Everything's working. That's it. But then obviously, like, the more technical stuff comes when you've got like companies or people or like operators, they want to hire kit. Because then you got to prep it, you got to check that it works, you got to prep that everything works. And
put the label on it.
Yeah.
That label,
everything. So yeah, man. So yeah, that's how I literally stayed at ProCam for a little while, for like just over a year. Yeah. But it was weird because like I was getting bored. Like I got bored really easily. Because my thing is, bro, like when you become an operator, you want to be out in the field. You want to be out there filming, working. And I feel like, you know, in the kit room, sometimes you got to give them like a few years.
Yeah. And you might end up stuck there.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Like that. Yeah, exactly.
It's like one of those, those movies in the police officer gets sent into the kit room. He stays there for a very long time.
No, bro, that's facts. Like, honestly. And it's like that. I feel like, for example, at the time at program, especially, like I feel like a few of the boys, they'd been there for years. Like some of them had been there like 6, 7, 8 years.
Same.
So they'd done there, you know, a while. And you know what? I just feel like because I wanted to start making a proper living. I wanted to be out there. So I lasted just over a year, and then I got offered. To be fair, like as I was in Procam, someone got in touch with me from my old company. They had created a new company. And then they were like, Jace, look, you know, we want you back, but we, you know, we'll offer you something better and better pay and everything.
Nice.
So it's kind of like I got scouted again, which was good. It's good to feel wanted.
You went to the library and you came back out with fully knowledge more. That's what it is.
Yeah. So like, no, and it felt good. It felt good. So I was like, you know what, like, cause it was one of those things where I took a step back, like literally had to like, you know, my pay, everything went down. But then I'd done a year, like I sacrificed a year, because that was a sacrifice, man. I literally, like, it's crazy, like the amount of hours we were working. But it was worth it in the end, because we finished working, and so I finished that year and a bit, and then I got offered something way, way better, like way better pay and everything. And then it was good. And I was like, you know, I wasn't known as a junior op anymore. Like it was like I was a proper like operator.
Nice.
And that was cool, man. That was cool. And then then I worked there for I think another year. Yeah, I think another year. And then I was like, you know what? Because during obviously when I was at the kit room, I would always ask the operators, listen, like what, you know, how did you become a freelance? How did you do it? Like when is the right time to do it?
Yeah.
The reality is like becoming a freelance is like when you know open up a business. Like when is there ever a right time? Obviously, there's you can take right steps to be more prepared for it. But when is it ever a right time? It's a risk. It's always a risk. So
you have to actually go out there and actually do the jobs, and that'll get you the connections.
So bro. So basically, like I was like, you know, I think I'd done a year at this company, and I was getting bored because like it was always the same content. Always the same content.
What was it?
It was like
more corporate.
Yeah,
but the money's good than that.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah. It was always corporate, and it was mad because like it was always like corporate stuff, and then it was very samey. It wasn't as creative, and the thing is like I would speak to some, because I knew quite a lot of really good operators. Yeah, and they'd be like, Jace, I'm not gonna lie to you, but the money you're earning there, if you do well, like you can earn that money in like 6 months. And I was like, no way. I was like, oh, like you're selling it to me. But then they're like, however, to get to that point, it's a lot. It's not going to be easy. So I think one day I was just like, you know, bro, I just got bored. I was bored. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. Let me literally just kind of like quit my job and do it. I had some savings. I had a little bit of savings, because the first thing they tell you is make sure you have some savings, because it's not easy. Like you're not going to get, like, you know how it is as freelance. You do the work. Like everyone calls you, oh, I need you tomorrow. I need you X day. Cool. When it comes to getting paid, nah, it's not like that.
Damn invoices are hey boy.
Yeah, it's never like that. So obviously, like,
what's the longest you've waited for an invoice?
Bro, the longest I'd say is like 6 months. 6 months is the longest.
Can you say how much it was?
Bro, you know what? That messed up my year. That invoice alone was like 9K.
9K. 6 months, nah.
Yeah. And the thing is, because it was one of those things where it was building up. And because they were a good client, I was like, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it. But then obviously once people are like, once it's getting to that point, where like you're also waiting for other clients, and then people are just not paying, then then obviously the money you've got, that's just going down. Yeah. And then obviously you're doing work, but then it gets to a point when you feel like you're doing work for free. Because even though you're agreeing really good rates, but where is this money? So yeah, that one was crazy. That one's crazy, especially like because before, obviously because of HMRC, so much has changed because of like the HMRC and things. Before, you could just invoice. Like if you worked for agencies, you could just send them the invoice and then that's it. Or or a lot of companies, if they use PO numbers and stuff, they would just give it to you there and then. But I feel whereas like the industry's changed, companies have changed, HMRC have put all these like changes. Some companies, they literally like to kind of like hold on to that money, and then they pay mega late.
Yeah, when it's more fitting for them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is, yeah.
Exactly. So like, bro, that year was crazy because I was busy, but that money was not coming in.
What camera were you operating on? The FX7 or 9?
So I own a FS7 and a A7 III. But I mean, I operate whatever camera. I mean, whatever camera is.
Yeah.
Whatever camera the job needs.
Clarify with them. It doesn't matter about the camera. It doesn't matter about the camera.
No, it doesn't.
It's the skills and what you learn.
Yeah. No, like I operate like everything. So for example, like, I mean, I'm used to operating. So the company I used to work for before, we used to operate a lot of broadcast cameras, like PMW 500s and all that. And then like those are the big boy cameras and shit. Luckily,
heavy
like,
fuckers.
Luckily, like, you know, we don't use like. Luckily, they've gotten smaller and better and stuff like that. Obviously, still like for broadcasting, those are the type of cameras you go for. Or like they've improved since then.
Yeah.
And then the CN lenses and stuff, like those are crazy. But yeah, those are the things that we used to use before. But then because I became more of an independent camera, like especially since going freelance, I use more like, well, my FS7, still got my FS7. It still gets used, like, even though it's ancient, still gets used. And then obviously now you got the smaller cameras, you know.
Yeah.
You got the A7s, you got the mirrorless cameras and stuff, which are cool.
How did you feel about those?
You know what?
Yeah,
at the beginning, I didn't like them.
Yeah.
But it's not like because I didn't like that they were small. I love that they were small. I didn't like the picture quality and how compressed the footage would be and stuff like that. But obviously, like, you know, technology has evolved so much. Yes. Now, like, the picture of them is crazy. Like, you know that what's that FX3? Yeah, like that.
That's really nice.
Yeah, like they're tiny, they're small, but the picture of them is nice, man. Especially if your editors, you know, knows what to do with the footage and knows how to grade it and stuff like that. It's like nice. And obviously you got the lenses. There's so much, but that's the thing. There's so much because like some people think that is the camera, but it's not really the camera. Like
so many elements to
there's so many elements. Like, bro, like to be honest, most of the time is the lenses, because you can use like a camera that's not even that good, but if you have a really nice lens, and people forget that, you know, there's filters, you know, like there's so many filters you can put, there's so many things you can put in front of the lenses that makes the picture quality go from like meh to like nice.
And this is before the edit.
Exactly.
This is literally before the edit. Yeah.
So like obviously depends who you're working with.
I've got a confession to make. This is like a cardinal sin that I've been doing recently. Yeah. And I don't feel like anyone's picked me up for it. Basically, I always used to film in S-Log all the time because I love color grading. But because I do a little more social media stuff now. I've stopped doing music videos. That was a lot of beautiful times back in the day, and a lot of more narrative stuff, documentaries and stuff like that. But with this social media stuff, because I feel like people want so much reality, this is going to sound bad, I've taken off picture profile in general.
Yeah?
I operate without picture profile.
Okay.
But it get completely nothing, just as it is.
Yeah.
And I literally leave the color grade there. I probably bump up a bit of, I don't know, saturation every now and then. Yeah. But that's how I left it. Obviously, I put the lighting in.
Yeah.
But no complaints. I don't know. It's weird.
No, but you know what's weird, right? So one of my close friends, so he heads like this company in Singapore, this media production company. Yeah. And you know, it was crazy that we were having a conversation, and so he does a lot of like luxury, like beauty brand stuff and all that stuff, right? We're having a conversation, and if you go online right now, like it's changed so much. Because before, like, so you know, before, like, he used to be like everything was for TV, crazy budgets, everything goes on TV. Then obviously the internet evolved, and the way you market and promote things evolved, and then everything's online, and then it basically became one of those things where it was still TV production budgets, but for online stuff.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, like for YouTube and stuff like that, then all of a sudden it evolved, and it's like still TV budgets and crews and professional crews, but for Instagram and for like phone. And you know, like literally I went to this, I remember I was like the amount of stuff that I've shot on like Ari cameras, Reds,
just for
Cooks, like crazy, like literally I'm talking about 300k on just camera kit, and then it's going on like it's going on a phone on like Instagram and stuff. And then now since TikTok has kind of, you know, been introduced and is evolved, now is mad because like now they're like Now they're just bringing all those budgets down now. Now, especially since pandemic, like loads of companies are aware of what's happened. All the budgets have gone down, and then now they want to basically, because they know people consume like content so quickly. Now they're just like, all right, we'll film it. We'll have a good idea, a good campaign idea. We'll film it on the phone. And then it's insane how like now you go online, it's like everything looks real. Everything was like you just filmed it on the phone. I mean, it is kind of filmed on the phone, but it's nuts, man. It's actually nuts. It's either filmed on the phone or everything's being filmed like on cameras flipped. And
how do you feel about this? Also,
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so
that
much.
transition of filming very normally to doing this.
I hate it.
I hate it too,
bro. I hate
it's
it
the
so
worst thing in the world. I can't.
You know, it's funny because like obviously since uni and stuff, like I've been so privileged to like be either mentored by some amazing DOPs and stuff, right? Or just being like crazy seminars, or just even just when I've been like at work and stuff, like just work with some like really good DOPs. And you know when you see the pictures and you see everything and you're just like everything's 16:9 and beautiful, and everything's wide and but then like nowadays, or especially in the last few years, when you're just kind of shooting, and then they're like, oh, but we want it
for socials.
We want it for socials.
That's the word.
That's
for socials. Can we make sure we get it for socials?
That's the worst. When they say you want it for socials, and you're like, then you got this shot in your head, and then all of a sudden I'm like, how am I gonna make this shot look wide? And
it's a do. Crop out.
Yeah, bro.
4K. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's
it's horrible. No,
yeah.
I hate it.
They started making monitors to do the grids for them. I was like, this is getting insane.
Bro, I hate it. Then you got like the adapters and you got all the grip
for the gimbals,
for the gimbals, so you can flip your camera. And I'm like, it's the worst, man. It's the worst.
They
and obviously
just invent a camera that does it.
Sorry?
I mean, it's a phone, yes, but like a like a camera that can just flip through both. You know how like DJI has the
I think DJI the ones
they
that
do it for the drones.
And
the Osmos, basically.
The Osmo, basically does it. No, bro, I hate it. Honestly. It's nuts. The thing, you know what? But in saying that, like I've met some younger camera ops, right? Who they've obviously, because obviously we're from obviously we're the generation that came up with that was at the stage of the transition. we was at that transition from 16:9 to socials and stuff. But then now you got the younger camera ops who they've got all the tech. They were kind of like came up with all the tech now, and obviously social media. And it's crazy because now like we think a certain thing, but the way if you kind of sit there with one of them and you kind of listen to the way they think when they're shooting something, because now is one of those things where they shoot for TikTok. And when you shoot for TikTok, it's different to the way you would shoot anything. Yeah, it's so different because like with TikTok, they know that it has to be for socials, right? But they have to shoot it in a way that it's gonna be engaging and it's different,
quick,
and it's
fast.
It has to be quick. Everything's quick and it's like it's creative. It's creative. That side I really like. Yeah, because now it's got people thinking different, especially in the creative in the way they shoot it. That I like because obviously we got used to the way we think is 16:9, but the way they think now is different. Oh, it's TikTok. Oh, we got to do this. We got to shoot it that way. We got to, do you know what I mean? The transition is.
We grew up wanting to make movies. Yeah. Now people are growing up wanting to make quick reel videos or TikToks, which is essentially now the same kind of viewership, I guess. That's what it probably sees.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
We've adapted.
Don't get me wrong.
We're not old geezers here. We're still young.
No, you got to do it, bro. It's whatever pays the bills.
I think the evolution was very quick. You know, you went from back in the day we were having big cameras, and now we're getting smaller, and we're getting to a point where they're getting so small that like recently I bought those Ray-Bans with the cameras in them. And I'm
those
like,
are cool though.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
We're living in a golden age. That's how I see it. Like we should just bank on it as much as it lasts, because I don't know. I would love to know where this is going. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of consumerism on the phone. Yeah. For me, I can't take it no more. Like I like watching a movie and I'm chill. I can do that rotation. I can rotate my phone and do that. YouTube, all that stuff. But now, because we're doing this a lot, I'm just wondering what's going to happen next. So they're going to put it on contact lenses. God knows. You know how Facebook or what is it? Meta. Is it called Meta?
Meta, yeah.
They've got the glasses now. Is it Apple doing it as well?
Meta's the one. I mean, they're literally the biggest players. So I literally just got back from because I'm shooting a series with them.
Cool.
So this year I'm shooting a second series. So basically, like Meta, they invest heavily in AI. So they invest heavily into like independent companies, like engineering AI software and stuff like that. And the series that I'm working on is kind of like how the AI can be implemented in the health and social care services. So like, for example, like before, let's say if you're a student, if you're a medical student, for example, trying to become a doctor, like let's say there's only so much practical they can teach you and so much theory. But let's say like, I don't know, how am I going to teach you what to do, how to practically do anything if someone's having a heart attack? Or let's say like, I don't know, when someone's having some sort of like life procedure, how can I actually show you if something goes wrong? Do you know what I mean? How do you test it? So now through VR and AR technology, they've basically developed softwares to kind of like create live scenarios to kind of like show the students. So actually put them in a live scenario and be like, all right, well, this is someone having a heart attack, go. Do you know what I mean? Like for example, when you're doing a driving test,
it's a simulation.
Yeah, a simulation, exactly. So now they've got all these companies that like so they're investing in these companies, and these companies, like, their engineering is so insane, and all these engineers behind us are insane that they're like, bro, is actually helping the health and social care services because now they can put these students in those scenarios, and then they're like teaching them, and it's obviously better because before you couldn't do that. And now you can. And like, for example, we went to where was it? I think it was Taiwan or something. And these students, like, they create live environments. So like, if you ever wanted to see, for example, how it was during the dinosaur age, like the scale of these, bro, like we literally put these glasses on and it was insane. Like, because you know, like they can tell you, oh, the dinosaurs were X and X. Like they measured X amount and X amount. But like, you're like, oh, it's big. Or they can be like, oh, you know, they used to be like 2 stories high or 3 stories high. Like, it's
now
cool,
you can visually see it.
But like, now you can see it. So we were literally like with these we went there to, obviously we had to shoot it documentary style. But they were like, oh, have a go. Bro, when I had the go, I was like, yo, this is mad. Like, this is mad. Like, it's mad. And obviously, like, it's cool. It's cool because obviously it's, you know, it's developing what we can do, what we can see, how we like it, obviously for like entertainment purposes as well. It just, there's a lot more they can do with it.
More potential now.
It's scary though. It's scary.
That's
it's
a lot of things happening at the same time.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah. But I mean, bro, that's where it's all going, man.
How do you feel about you edit most of your stuff, or do you hire an editor?
No, I bro. So this is the thing. I can edit.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not the greatest editor. I don't like editing.
Don't downplay yourself, man.
I'm. You know what? It's because like it's like I said, bro. Like I'm more, because I grew up like with the old school. I do have that old school mentality. I didn't, in that sense, I didn't really evolve. So I like to shoot. That's my thing. Shooting and lighting. That's my thing. When it comes to editing, I just feel like if you can do it all, there's something that's you're not gonna be able to do. Because I know there's guys out there that they can shoot, edit, this and that. But I know they're not gonna be good at one thing. So I'd rather be really good at shooting and lighting than a little bit good at all of them. Because it's always the case. It's always the case.
Dedicate to one.
Like I know some guys. I know some great editors and stuff, and they can shoot, but I know they can't light a scene like I can, or they can shoot it like I can. There's some of them, they're all right. They'll know the basics, but then after that, do you know what I mean? Because if
the
you're
time dedicated to
exactly.
that.
So for example, like the normal person won't understand it, but like for example, if I would compare myself to someone who can shoot, edit, and everything, right? And if you compare like the type of jobs that we've been on, like they haven't been to not even half of the jobs I've been on, because I've worked on like big budget commercials. I've worked on big budget like videos and stuff like that. Where it's been like, you know, with cinema type like DOPs, like big, like, you know, big caliber DOPs and stuff like that. Whereas they always say, okay, like I've done a conference or I've done like a music video and stuff like that, but we haven't done the same caliber of work. Yeah. But it's because of that. It's because I've decided that I want to specialize on lighting and on operating. And that's how it is. And the thing is, obviously, like if you go the commercial way, if you do commercials or like TV, like high-end TV, or if you do films,
everyone's got a specific role.
Bro, it's specific, and the hierarchy is insane. Yeah. So like, for example, me, I love lighting. So sometimes I work in lighting teams as a spark. And then on operating. But if I'm literally in those type of crews, they hate it. So they hate that I tell them that I can shoot. They're like, Oh, but because there's a hierarchy thing.
It's true.
There's a hierarchy thing, and they hate it. They don't like to hear that, you know, you do both, because they're like, oh,
Why the hell you mean? It's
Yeah,
almost like
bro.
a team thing situation.
It's
isn't it?
to be honest with you, it's one of the reasons why I've never liked, or I've never wanted to go into film. Before, when I was young, I wanted to go into film, but when I got a taste of it and I knew like how cliquey it was and the hierarchies and stuff, it put me off, because I don't really wanna. I don't like, obviously, especially in films. Sometimes you're there months.
Yeah.
You're there months.
You're
and,
away.
and obviously like and I experienced it. So the year before pandemic, I'd say like it was one of my best, since being a freelancer, one of my best, because that was the year that I banked a lot, because I was doing TV. I done corporate, I done it all, and I done like 16 weeks on a feature, independent feature, but it was, I think the budget was like 3-4 mil. So even for an independent feature,
Pretty good
they had,
budget,
yeah, and the cast, they had a really good cast as well. The film went on to, I think it went on Prime, Apple TV. It went on a few things, and it was a really good cast, like really good cast. And bro, like I was a spark on that one, but it was insane, like how clicky it was. I was like, yo, I don't like this shit. I don't like this shit.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't like this shit, but it's a good experience. But yeah, I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. That's why, like, I prefer to stick to shooting and lighting. And if I've got, let's say, because I do have clients where they want you to do it all, I'll be like, I'll take it. I'll be like, yeah, I can do it.
For a certain fee.
Yeah, I can do it. But I'm like, I'll get one of my editors to do it.
Yeah.
So straight away, I'm like, listen, I can take on the whole project, but it will be one of my editors.
Yeah.
And
You go
then
producer mode, basically.
I'll be like the editing producer, and then I'll be like the middleman.
Yeah.
But I'll get an editor to do it.
Yeah.
I know when it comes to like those type of projects and serious projects, like time is money. So like I know that if I edit, it's gonna take me 6 days. I know if a proper editor does it, it's gonna be 3 days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather just, you know, give it to someone who
Cuts you some slack as well. And
yeah, man.
so much ease of mind as well.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like I can shoot really good pictures, but sometimes like it's the edit does the rest of the magic. Do you know what I mean? It kind of paints the rest of the picture.
It's you drew the broad strokes, or the other guy just lays the kind of little finishing polish at the end. That's what it is.
Yeah.
See, I don't really consider myself a good editor. I only say I'm a good sequencer. That's when I went deep into it.
Oh,
Because I worked with editors before. I'm like, oh, okay, I get the hierarchy here. I spent a few times in the editing production team as an editor assistant.
Yeah.
And boy, it's like you learn so much when you actually just go to studio productions, all of this stuff. And I'm like, wow, I don't want to do this. But I do like this. And I do know I've got a keen eye for like just sequence making.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
You do a lot of editing though. Like
I do
from
a
what I see,
lot. Yeah. I mean, this was all self-taught. But when I finally went into a studio, because I worked in, I don't know if you've ever been to Broadley Studio. It's in Mayfairish? No, I forgot. Either way.
Yeah.
So there, it was very funny. I've kind of talked my way into this job where I didn't have the most experience out of a lot of people, but I just said, fuck it, let me just give it a try. And I was learning on the go. So whenever someone said, come, bring me this whatever equipment name, and I'm just like, right, go to the other guy who was also working here. What is that? And I was just learning every day like that, pretending I knew what I was doing until it just stuck into my head.
You know what's weird? Like, because I thought, like, obviously when I started seeing you come in the, just pop up like on socials and stuff, I always thought that was what you used to do. Like, I always thought you was a cameraman, editor kind of thing. But it wasn't until recently when I started listening to your podcast and stuff that I was like, oh shit, like no, he wasn't. He used to do something different.
No, it was completely different. I started at 25, the camera stuff. So I was trying to learn VFX.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I quit the idea of becoming an architect. So I said, I want to do film, but I don't know if I'm directing. I didn't even know what I was going to go into. So I thought the most obvious thing that felt like, I just felt too old to enter the game. So I thought,
at
okay.
25?
Yeah. That was what I'm telling you, bro. No. I've wasted my time doing architecture. But so immediately I thought, let me do VFX because I love computers and whatnot. Let's try that. Learning the VFX stuff, but I also started the videography at the same time. Started getting bookings. The bookings overtook the course. So I was like, well, I'm finding success here. I had to teach myself how to edit. Or the VFX stuff will slow it down. I was like, I'm getting bored of this. So it just one thing led to another, and I just started doing that. Then the rest was just self-taught. Then talked my way into studios. And that was it. And then I just started getting jobs through producers and stuff. And I'm like, I can't lie. never use that equipment, but let's figure it out along the go. Just pretend you knew what you were doing. And that's how I did it throughout the whole process. And that's how I met all of these other people. Just sponged it up. And I'm like, cool.
Fair, like, that is like, I'm not going to lie, but in this industry, that's what I've learned though. Like, you say yes and you figure out how to do it later. Like, I mean, that's what I've learned. I'm not going to lie to you. And to be fair, like, I know some people, man, like, they've gotten some crazy jobs, but I think they've done the same. Like, it's been like, just blag it.
Yeah.
Blag it.
Some people pretend to be DOPs and end up becoming DOPs. And I'm like,
100%.
Sure.
100%.
But it's true. It's I don't know. I feel like your skills will be there, but also it's more like your people talking skills matters a lot when it comes to this industry.
This industry, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Especially like when you're freelance, because your next job depends
on the last job.
On your last job. Yeah, because if you do it a lot, like the thing is, right, like what I found out, especially like from like assisting and just from coming up in the industry, like people remember you not just because of how good you are, but because of like the vibe they got from you, exactly, like a bit of everything, man. Like if you got along with them, all of that. Because sometimes I was like, how the hell? I know I'm way better than that guy. I know it. I know technically, like, I'm way better. But then I'm like, how? But then obviously it's one of those things where if you get along with them, they're going to bring you along. Yeah. They're going to bring you along. And that's how it is. That's how this industry works. Yeah. Like, and that's why thing is, it took me a long while to be like, because whenever you say it's who you know, like, yes, 100% is who you know. And obviously for us being like, a minority, it was always going to be harder. However, like when I actually understood that saying is who you know, is like, it's not just like I need to know that person above, but it's like it's how like
they know you, how they know you,
how they know you, how you interact. Like, am I good? Like, how am I on set? Am I the funny guy? Am I someone that they can get along with? Because at the end of the day, like people forget sometimes. Obviously now that like with the social media era, sometimes you can do a shoot in an hour, 2 hours, or like 3 hours and stuff like that. But people forget that. This is like TV and broadcasting and
big
films
difference.
And stuff. It's minimum 12-hour day. It's a 12-hour day minimum. And they forget that you need to be with that person for minimum 12 hours a day. If you don't get along with someone for 12 hours a day, you're screwed. You're screwed. And people forget that. And
it's, I think it's just so, bruv, to be honest with you, because when I went into it, I went straight into kind of production. I didn't go really too much into social media. So I did my shoots, which was like the clubs, music videos, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I was doing the production stuff. And I was carrying the production attitude into my shoots because I did not like disorganization. I don't like this laid back stuff, all this stuff. I was like, what? I was getting mad at people on my own shoots. But in this shoot, I am like straight on the ball because it's obviously you're learning and you're getting paid for it. And this is like a dream job, you're traveling and stuff. The transition to going back to that now, because the era has changed. I'm it's been such a hard thing because now I feel like social media shoots are very laid back, very chilled. There's a weird, maybe it's the toxic part inside of me as a cameraman as well, where I'm like, I miss the stress. I miss those long days. I miss like something going bad on set and then we're quickly trying to resolve it as quick as possible. But I don't know, the team efforts there, it's missing for me. Yeah. I don't know, you still have it.
Yeah, no, but it is different though. It's different. Like I don't like. I mean, to be fair, like those shoots are what kind of like
they make me, you.
Yeah. They taught me a lot. They taught me kind of how to react because you kind of learn that trait. You learn the trait of reacting or like problem solving. That's what you learn. But like to be honest with you, man, if a shoot, because that thing is, I think people learn to be more organized, and like that's the thing. Like once you work with an organized team, like you can't complain, man. Yeah. Because you end up when you're meant to be ending up. And the thing is obviously like, because like if you work on big budget stuff, there's no room there's no room for errors. Because the thing is, right, you can't say, oh, we're gonna overrun and everyone's gonna be okay. You know that if you overrun, it's not gonna cost you £10. That shit's gonna cost you 100k, 200k, because everyone is on a silly rate, on a silly rate, and you're paying for everything. So you know what I mean. So
that conversation stops real quick. Everyone says, so overtime. Exactly. Is it happening? They look at the producer straight away.
Exactly. Like, you know what's nuts? Like when I would do like light, I was doing a lot more lighting shoots before. But like for example, as a lighting team, you're guaranteed overtime. You're guaranteed overtime, especially on like music videos and stuff like that. Because like as a lighting team, you gotta be there. You got pre-light, light, and then like everyone thinks, all right, that's it, everyone goes home. But no, like you literally like you kind of record
D-rig and everything.
but you got D-rig, and then when you when you got a shit ton of kit rig, like that's like minimum. And then obviously like with lighting teams, usually the lighting teams are much bigger than like camera teams, and it becomes no joke.
That D-rig is no joke, man.
Yeah, it's
oh,
no joke.
and the equipment is heavier, 10 times heavier than the camera equipment.
Bro. Yeah. So like, yeah, man. No, to be fair, I honestly like. I like when it runs smooth, man. Like I can't do.
You like the smooth, right?
Yeah, I can't do the stress, man. I can't do the stress.
What type of person are you on a set? Because I'm a smoother, so I'm like when things go bad, I'm the calm essence. So and then everyone calms down as well. Because I'm like, yeah, just everyone relax. We can't be panicking. We need to be chilled. Let's get the job on. you know.
Yeah, I think I'm that type of person as well. Yeah.
That's
why. I think I'm that type of person. But to be fair, I've learned to be that type of person because I used to stress and everything. Or like when I was young, when I was like coming up in the industry, like I used to do, if it was my own shoots, like 0 or minimum prep. That's why 0 or minimum prep. That's why like I was like, you know what? Like I learned from my mistakes, and then that's why I like to go in a bit prepped, depending on what I'm shooting. But I like to go in a little bit prepped and stuff like that. Or like like when I was younger, I'd be like, you obviously you'd be like, oh, I'll prep everything in the morning before I leave, like.
Oh yeah.
And then you get to shoot and you're just missing, like.
Do that the night before. The night before. Trust me, that is the best way.
Yeah, you like obviously as you grow older and wiser and you get a bit more experience, you learn these things, you know. And obviously like going into like working in a kit room company, you learn these things as well. Anyway, or just kind of just shooting regularly. Yeah, you shooting regularly, just you learn all these things. But no, I like it smooth, man. Smooth, like no issues, no problems. And you know that when we put a wrap time like 4 or 5 p.m, you're going home at 4 or 5 p.m. and ain't no time to be like going home 2-3 hours later, man.
You love those memes though,
bro.
Was it when rap time comes and everyone's like,
yeah. Oh, honestly, and it's true, you know.
That's the time of thing.
Yeah. Because it will take you about 2 to 3 hours to prep a set and stuff. Yeah. As soon as you stop recording, you pack up in like 40 minutes. You literally pack up in 40 minutes and everyone's just out the door. But hey, man, I'm all about that still.
When's your next shoot?
Bro, my next shoot, you know what? My next shoot is on the 15th of Jan.
Oh, you have a nice little break.
Yeah, 15th of Jan. Well, that's the thing, man. Like, so this year's been weird, man. This year's been a weird one for me.
Writer's strike or?
Bro, I don't know what it is, but like, I mean, to be fair, like some of my colleagues as well, it's been weird for like in terms of freelancers, it's been a very, very slow year, very weird year. Yeah. Because like obviously, so pre-pandemic, I was so busy, man. I was busy, and since I went freelance, I feel like every year I was getting busier and busier and busier. Yeah. Then pandemic hit, bro. When I tell you, like, so that year of pandemic. Because I was working on a TV series. There was a TV series I was doing. We were shooting like 4 of them a year. And bro, that was a crazy amount of work for me. Yeah. Because that alone was like 16 to 20 weeks of work alone, and I was on daily rates. So bro, that was like half or like 60% of my salary, and literally pandemic hit. I lost that. I literally lost, and that year, so I started that series, I think December, Jan, and I worked up until Feb. They cut it short because of pandemic, so they let us go 2 weeks before we went to finish, and then I was meant to work up until July. Obviously, I lost literally everything, and then I didn't work again. I think it was a year. I didn't work at all, or a year and a bit. I didn't work at all, and then I think once everything was open, shoots started coming in again. And that was fine. Then I had like an okay year. But bro, this last year was weird because I think it's because of the strikes or because everyone trying to bounce back. They've reduced the salaries.
The financial times as well.
Bro, yeah. I think a little bit of everything. I'm not going to lie, like all the agencies. So basically what's happened, all my big clients or all my regular clients, because they're big companies. Yeah. What happened was that they kind of saw, because obviously if you're a company that you're spending all this money on like freelancers, like, it takes out of them. Yeah. And then, because, freelancers, they have their rates, their daily rates. But like, for example, if you know that you're busy and let's say you have like, you're paying full-time people, they're going to save costs. So a lot of my regular clients, that's what they did. This last year, they basically like hired full-time people.
In-house.
Yeah, in-house. Yeah, in-house.
That's been happening a lot.
And bro, like, honestly, I lost I lost like 4 of my big clients. So like my work just decreased. So like, I mean, I've been lucky because obviously I went out to do that series earlier this year in Asia. I started it again. I started second series again recently, and I've had like jobs here and there, but it hasn't been the same amount of work that I'm used to doing and that I've been doing. But I think it's because of that, man. Like, a lot of companies, big companies, they've just kind of hired in-house people to do the jobs.
Maybe it's because of that.
And bro, like salaries, not salaries, budgets have been cut.
Maybe that's what it was. COVID times, budget cuts on offices, then budget cuts on marketing. Then they started realizing they maybe spend a lot less money if they had an in-house. But it could be that. I had the same problem as well.
Because this year, you'd be surprised, you'd be surprised in terms of like how much I've worked this year. In terms of the industry, like I haven't worked not even half as much as I usually work. But because of that, because like I lost my regular clients, and I've got new clients, but it's one of those things where it's not as regular as I'd like it to be. And because like I had got to a point where I was saying no to a lot of shit jobs. So like,
I know what you mean.
The shit jobs don't come up anymore. So now where I'm like, I could do a shit job. Like now is things have changed. That's why I kind of like where I am now. That's why like my promoting thing. Like, so promoting was always a side job for me. Like it was just something I was like, you know what, I like events. I want to get into it. And then I got into it and I liked it. And then, but it was always meant to be a side job. But then obviously since Barbaro and stuff like that, I've picked it up a bit more because I'm like, shit, like, well, if my camera stuff isn't bringing in enough bacon, I need to like, something else. I need something else on the side. And then, that's why I started doing more promoting. And that's why I'm doing it more now. Just to, bring in a little bit more money and stuff like that.
It's the balance.
But yeah, exactly. A bit of stability, a bit of balance and stuff like that. But yeah, man. But hopefully, I mean, from conversations and stuff that I've been having, hopefully this 2024 things will change and it'll go back to being normal. Because at the end of the day, like, I mean, I see it because there was a point, it got really bad for me this year. And I was like, shit, you know what, I might have to get a full-time job. And then even though once you go freelance, you don't want to go back. Because once you taste that freedom, you don't want to go back.
What freedom?
Yeah, once you taste that freedom, bro, you don't want to go back. So basically, I was like, shit, you know what? But like, we're on our shit. We'll get. I mean, I like working. That's my thing. I like working. Yeah. I'm not phased. I like to be busy. I like to to work. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. If the work's not coming in, I'll get a full-time job. And then I tried it, but then the work came in, stuff like that. But what I've noticed is that companies, right? I don't know what companies are thinking though, man. Because like from kind of like looking at what's out there, they want you to edit, grade, shoot, like, and to a crazy level. They want you to do animations, graphics, the whole lot.
Yeah, the jack of all trades.
Sound. They want you to do everything for like 25,000 or 30,000, bro. Like, really? Like, really?
This is why I said that camera stuff. You know, when cameras, really good quality cameras, just shooting a very good resolution and stuff like that. I feel like, and maybe because I remember someone told me this, he was like, "You're fucking up the industry," and I'm like, "Me? I didn't do anything." But I understood what he meant, and I think he's going with like, you know how people are now just done the whole jack of all trades, where it's like they're into the photography, videography, editing, doing the whole shebang for a lower rate. And maybe these companies are now looking into that as a more cheaper thing. It could be that.
No, it is. Like,
that's what I think it is. Yeah, because the cameras are affordable now. They're not affordable, but they're like, you can get yourself in a 6K debt and then kind of pay it off. And it could just be that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I used to have this thing that I told someone once, like a younger guy, and I said to him, I was like, you know what, like, there were certain ops that I would be seeing, like younger guys doing cool videos and stuff. But like, I was like, bro, and I used to say, I'm not gonna lie, I used to be like, listen, they're fucking up they're fucking up everything. Yeah. Because they're basically like, so for example, me, right? Like, I went to uni, like I done my years
your due diligence.
Yeah, I done it all, bro. I went to kit room, I done it all, and then obviously like the rate I charge, like that shit has not come easy. That shit has not come easy. But then now, since obviously the digital era, where like you got the nice cameras at affordable prices that everyone can get, now the younger guys, they're calling themselves DOPs. They're calling themselves DOPs, and then anything they shoot looks good because it is like compared to before, like it does look good.
The cameras are getting better.
And then, but then they're like charging like £100, £200, and obviously like this, if you go to someone and then you're like, all right, this video is going to cost you £200, and then you got someone else.
Oh, I got someone else doing this.
This is going to cost you 600. Of course, they're going to go with the £100. Well, half of them, not everyone will go obviously for the £100 video, but a lot of people would go for the £100 video.
Yeah.
And obviously, like bigger companies have caught onto that, and I feel that has got a lot to do with the rates and stuff like that. Because even me, like for example, like since pandemic and everything, like it got to a point where I raised my rate, and then now I'm having to kind of like come back on my rate a little bit, and it's like it's I'll take it, but it's still not what I would want to charge, because like sometimes like companies got money.
Yeah, they got money, and it's just more like they just don't want to spend it.
Yeah,
they could spend it somewhere else. Or keep it.
Or keep it.
That's the issue, guys. We gotta play play the system. Take it to the man. No. I learned that lesson as well, because it was like I started at quite a low rate. Now it's pretty good and high. But I realized that every year you should at least bump it up. Every year, bump it up. Keep bumping up. Yeah. It's just more of just as a standard, because there's no point of just staying in the same place. Yeah.
Or like what I did learn, and to be honest, I learned this the hard way. So I was like bumping it up and seeing how I could get more. But then there was a point where I'm not gonna lie, I got greedy. I got greedy because I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, let me just put another £50 on. Let me just put another £50 on. But then to be fair, like, I think I shot myself in the foot, because I feel like the way I see things now is I'd rather like 4 or 5 jobs with X rate.
Yeah.
Then that's reasonable. That's decent. That's good rate. It's a good rate. And I can get 4, 5, 6 jobs out of it. Then like 1, 2 jobs on a high rate, because you know what I mean. 4, 5 jobs at that
Keep you
rate,
occupied.
it's gonna be more, and then they're gonna be like, oh, he charges a good rate. He's a good operator. Let's carry on getting him. But then, because on the flip side, if you're charging a lot more, that job's got the budget, let's get him. And then, that job's got a good budget, let's get him. Actually, that job, we can't afford him, let's not get him. And then, do you know what I mean? So you rather like 5, 6 jobs than 2 jobs. And that's something that I'm like, you know what, don't be greedy. Don't get greedy, because like that's how it is. Let's say if you've got like a few clients, and you have you work out even buyout rates with them and shit like that. Because now I even like quite open to buyout rates, whereas before I wasn't. But where the industry has evolved and stuff, because of budget cuts and stuff like that, now I'm like, buyout rates might not be that bad, because at least the work will be coming in, and I could be making decent money, and then they're not gonna see me as that guy that charges a lot. Like they'll be like, oh no, he's good, but he charges, we can afford him, rather than that guy, he charges a lot. His rates are too high, and then
you know what I'm trying to do.
Yes,
because in my mind I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing that Netflix does and do a subscription rate.
Okay.
Where
you know what? I saw that recently. Editing. I saw that recently.
In editors are starting to do it, and I'm just like, maybe I should do this for videography and photography and just sell it as a service. Because a lot of people, some companies need this stuff monthly, and the way I'm seeing it is that you're hiring me every month. I might as well limit the amount of stuff I can give you, so we can have a fixed rate, and then do this every month, and that's consistency. As I get freelance is the freedom part, but if I can set the rules up,
you know what? you know what's mad? I actually wish you never said this out right now, because like I was on my Instagram and this guy popped up. He's doing the same thing but for editing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like, that's mad. Like, that's, of course, that's like, that's evolution. That's evolution right there. And I was like, you know what? That's actually weird. Because I do have, like, especially my new clients, right? My new clients that use me, like, once or twice or 3 times a month. I was like, you know what? If I would give them, let's say, just a set rate for that month, like, they could just be like, okay, cool, yeah, do it. And then we could just kind of lay everything down and be like, all right, I can give them, I don't know, like 4, 5, 6 shoots, because I've got my own kit as well.
Yeah.
Like I've got everything. I've got cameras, I've got lighting kit, I've got it all to do like a proper shoot, like proper professional shoot. And I was like, if I can give them all of that for a buyout rate, that might be like, oh, you know what, let's use them instead of just using one person every so often and just pay for that individually. So yeah, bro, I think that might be the way forward. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's not the same thing as having it in-house, but at least
they
can figure something out.
They'll make savings 100%. Yeah. They'll make savings because obviously some of these companies, like the way they work, the way they work, they always tell you, all right, cool, they'll go with your rate, but they always charge like 30-40% on top of that. So they'll have the budgets. they'll have the budgets, man. So hey, I'm all up for it. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone push it towards that, because then we all can be making money. I'm telling you, man, it is the golden era for us. Like low key, because this whole digital stuff, I feel like any cameraman, or filmmaker, or even photographer can actually make a living this day and age.
Bro, to be honest with you, like I feel like I was, I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of like a little confession. I feel like I was evolving with the times, right? I was evolving and I was going with the times, but I feel like I have gotten stuck a little bit. And then I feel like that's why maybe like this year was a hard year, because I feel like I got stuck and I didn't know how to get myself out of it. And I feel like that's why I was like, you know what, let me start focusing on something else. Whereas, for example, that idea you just said, like that popped up in my head the other day. And that made me think like, Jace, you know what? If you wasn't stuck, or if you wasn't thinking outside the box, maybe you would have kind of figured it out before. That's maybe something you could have been offering your clients. Because I've got enough clients to be offering that too.
Yeah.
But I just got stuck, man. It didn't come out, man. But then again, my head's been elsewhere. So
yeah. You know, it's me after paying so many subscriptions for things, man. I was like, why? I'm paying for Netflix, Disney Channel, and I bought DJ Decks recently. You have to pay a subscription for the DJ. Like, I was like, everything's subscription for my PlayStation. I'm just like, at this point, this might be just a new way of doing things. Netflix changed it up for me. So
no, 100% is the way, bro.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because for me, I was like, bro, like I've got all this kit, all these lights, everything, and then I was like, there's companies out there that need. Sometimes companies, because basically, like, I used to do a lot of half-day shoots, like half-day rates and shit like that. And it got to a point where I got so busy where I was like, I just stopped. I was like, no, I don't do half rates. And then I was like, or it got to a point where I was like, if it's half rate, I could do half rate, but if we go like even half an hour over, like you got to pay me my full rate. And then that's the only that's basically the way that I just got them to be like, okay, let's just pay full rate. But then obviously, like I said, I think it's one of those things where you got to think with the times. The times, evolve as well as everything else is evolving, technology and the times and all of it. You got to evolve as well. That's true. But I think that's the way forward. I'm not gonna lie, that's the way forward. That's the way forward.
We put that in front. I think that's the amount of time I've got for right. How much time? I got 3 minutes. Quick question. Well, obviously, I've not spoken about Barbaro.
Yeah.
But you guys got me into house. Latin house. Yeah. We're obviously gonna have Ramos. He should be here one day.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say, to tease at least any future plans for that, or would you rather wait for Ramos to come and say it with you, or what you would you
no
say?
I don't mind saying it. I feel like, you know what, I mean, people obviously know what we've been doing with Barbaro. Barbaro is something that we kind of started. Well, to be fair, Ramos was the one that started it.
Yeah, I
knew of it before. It's just I was too busy to join. But it's basically grown to a point now that we're now. How do I say it without giving too much away? We've gotten to a point, right, where we can't do it just ourselves, basically.
Right.
So we're like, we got a good backing, and I feel like this is finally the year that we can go from where we are now and grow it even more. And I feel like, you know, people are gonna start seeing us internationally a little bit more.
Nice.
And we're getting some crazy things that are gonna be announced this coming year. But I think, like, basically we've made a mark, but I feel like this 2024 is when we're actually gonna make like a big mark, and people are gonna be like, yo, like this shit started in someone's living room, because it did. It started in the living room, and basically where it's going this year and where it's gonna go from there, like, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And obviously the progress and the evolution of Barbaro, people are gonna definitely see it this coming year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have Ramos in next time.
Yeah.
Speak a bit more fun into it.
Yeah.
But Yeison, thank you very much for coming in.
Good, man. Thank you
I'm
for
gonna
having
give
me.
you a handshake.
Thank you for having
cameraman
me.
to cameraman shake, you know.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, you back up the cards, yeah?
Why?
I had to make that joke.
I was gonna say, did you press record?
Oh shit! I know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, but cheers, man. Thank you for coming.
Good, man.
This is the Juan and Juan show.
Wicked, man. Thank you for having me.
Muchas gracias, señor.
Cool, bro.
I'm taking it back. Merci.
Yeah,
you didn't sweat that bad.
Bro, it was getting to a point where I'm like, oh shit, I can feel it. But